Hey folks, this is Mike Tholfsen from the Microsoft Education team, and welcome to our latest edition of the Remote Learning with Microsoft EDU webinar. I think this is show number 35, and we are going to have a good one today. We've got the Minecraft education crew with us. Got Adam Tratt, Stephen Reid, who is now a full-time employee. Welcome, Stephen, to Microsoft.
Thank you.
And I'll be talking about the latest updates and news first, and then I'm going to kick it over to Adam and Stephen. In terms of our quick links, the same ones that we normally use, our main remote learning site URL, all the latest and greatest updates are there. There's the Teams for Education Quick Start Guide, PDF, really great. Teachers can use it, lots of different languages. We encourage you to share and download that. And then sign up for our remote learning community. Over 6,000 educators in one big community, learning from each other, learning about remote learning. Our product team is in there, supporting them, helping, answering questions. So if you haven't already joined, please do. And for today's updates, the three great links. Well, of course, since we have the Minecraft folks, we have the great Minecraft at Home main link. You can learn all about what's going on with the Minecraft Education Edition, and Adam and Stephen will talk more on that. There's also a brand new course on the Educator Center. Really, really good one, and one that I'm passionate about. All about accessibility, special education, and how to support equity in a remote learning environment. So that just launched today. And then also a really popular topic, and actually it's really popular with Minecraft, is virtual graduations. And we have a whole site dedicated to that for all the students that are having to graduate remotely during COVID-19. And many of them, I've seen some incredible replications in university and K-12 schools of the school and then having a remote Minecraft graduation. It's pretty incredible. And with that, we've got Adam Tratt from the Minecraft Education Edition team, and then Stephen Reid, who just joined Microsoft. He's been a Minecraft wizard for years. I've hung out with him in global conferences, as well as I've visited Scotland, and that's where he is still today. So welcome both Adam and Stephen to our show. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks so much. It's really good to be here, and I appreciate you calling attention to those links. We'll be talking a lot about the amazing content that we've been building to help educators teach remotely with Minecraft Education Edition. Super lucky to be here with Stephen, who's one of the world's greatest Minecraft builders and educators, and builders for educators. So we're super lucky to have him here today. I thought I would start by just giving a quick introduction of Minecraft and Minecraft for Education, and then what we'll do is we'll jump into a demonstration of the product. Stephen will show us how it's being used in classrooms, and we'll have a short discussion about all the different ways that educators can think about remote learning and remote teaching with Minecraft, and then we'll share some of those resources in detail. So with that, for the uninitiated, many people are probably roughly familiar with Minecraft. It's what we call an open world game, which means it's not your not necessarily a linear experience. One way to think about it is to think about it like an infinite set of Legos, where you never run out of blocks and you never run out of space to play with those blocks. And then on top of that, the blocks are programmable, and so you can do all kinds of cool things to teach concepts related to STEM and coding, in addition to providing this immersive, creative experience for students. So shortly after Microsoft acquired Mojang Studios, the studio that builds Minecraft, we realized the potential of Minecraft in classrooms. In fact, we weren't even the first ones to do it. There were already educators out there in the world who are doing amazing things with Minecraft in the classroom. And so what we started to do is build a set of features around the game that would empower teachers to do even more with it. And so real quick, those features can be broken down into three basic categories. The first set of features relate to making it easy for teachers and administrators to deploy the product and get it out there onto the students' devices. So it can be played on a PC, on an iPad or on a Mac. And included in that set of features are features that enable security and classroom management, so that educators have the ability to control the experience a little more. The second set of features are all about empowering learning through new elements in the game, such as chalkboards where educators can present information, or NPCs, non-player characters, which are characters in the game that act as guides that help narrate or guide the activity through a lesson, so students know where to go, what to do, or are prompted with questions that will deliver learning outcomes. And then the third set of features are this incredibly vast library of almost 700 lessons and growing. And these lessons range from early education math, where students are learning addition and subtraction and multiplication using blocks, just as they might with manipulatives in a traditional classroom, all the way up through AP chemistry, where students can work with elements from the periodic table to build a latex balloon, fill that balloon with helium, attach it to a pig, and watch the pig float away. So the opportunities for learning and teaching with Minecraft are essentially limitless. We've got an incredible array of lessons across science, engineering, technology, math, coding, and as well as history and culture, literature, etc. So anyway, with that, I would love to welcome Stephen, who's going to take us through some of the cool things that you can do.
Indeed, I am. Thanks, Adam. So welcome everyone who's tuned in. My name is Stephen Reid. I, up until just a few weeks ago, ran a company called Immersive Minds, who worked, and we worked extensively for the last 10 years to use Minecraft to teach everything from, your regular curriculum, Minecraft in literacy or maths or science and so on, right through to some of the more what we called teaching the tough stuff, which was things like the refugee crisis, gender equality, education for girls, clean water access, and there's a whole range of things that you can teach with Minecraft. I actually just want to share one of my screens. Let me have a look at screen one. Actually, I'm just going to pop Minecraft on there. You're looking at Photoshop, which is not what you want to look at. And just to give you an example, can everybody see my screen? Are we looking at Minecraft? Yep. Or are we still viewing? Yeah, we can see that. Excellent. Okay, and so what I'd like to show you is some of the stuff that we can do with regards to, and this is one of the Minecraft Education Edition introduction worlds. So as you can see in here, we've built maths, we've built history, we've got some literacy, and we've also got some science, and we can choose just by pressing the button where we want to go. So this is an example of a classroom world, which is perfect for saying to the kids, look, what would you like to do today? Or today we said we were going to focus on maths, so let's do that. So let's head over to maths. We're going to click the button and we get taken to Mr. Math. And Mr. Math, let me just get into student mode. Mr. Math would have a conversation with us. Say, hey, listen, welcome to Math Town, a place where all of those who live here love mathematics. Is there such a town? So much so that their houses and gardens are all created using mathematical puzzles. So a lot of people say to me, the first thing I remember 10 years ago, the first thing when I started using it, somebody challenged me with, and teachers quite often challenge me on this and say, come on then, show me how it can be used in art, show me how it can be used in maths, show me how it can be used in science. And I remember just taking blocks, and I'm just going to do this before we head to this this site, but if we take some blocks, we'll just get some blocks of wool for colour. And I remember being able to show the teacher back then that we could do counting systems. So we could quite literally do, let me just, this is an immutable world. So what I'm going to do is just go into this game mode and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can count in rows, as simple as that. But what if we did something a little more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then asked the child that we're teaching, what percentage of those red blocks is yellow? And then now what percentage of those red blocks are yellow? And what if it wasn't a line? What if it was a block? Still had 10 cubes in it, but it was, but 20% of it was, and 20% of it was still yellow, but it was a cube shape, or even a not a sort of an odd shape. instead. And so we started to move through that, and we developed a whole series of, as you can see in here, with this Mr. Maths here, we managed to make symmetry. So let's go and have a look at symmetry. So we meet Sam Symmetry, who says, hey, you know, using yellow and blue wool, can you create a simple line of symmetry? So we used yellow wool. You can see there that we've got these yellow blocks here, we've got these blue blocks here, and this is our line of symmetry in an otherwise in an even shape. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, and then so on. What if we used glass panes to create a line of symmetry down a pattern? So I've created this red and orange pattern and then asked the students to create this line of symmetry, finish a pattern. So I've given a shape here, and I want you to finish this, match it on the other side, make it symmetrical. How about the house itself? Make the house symmetrical using coloured glass for the windows. What if we did tessellation and the idea of pattern making? So we can do that. We can create simple patterns, complex patterns. We could turn our house and paint. Imagine the students have painted their houses. If we head over here, we've got coordinates and grid referencing. Well, how do we set up grids? What about our X and Y axis? How do we then, you know, the dog in the garden has buried a series of bones. Where do we find them? And we're going to find them by plotting points where we think the dog has buried the bones, and then the children have to plot those points. What was this one? Paula percentage. This is nice. What percentage of the garden is flowered? What percentage of these flowers is dead? Which percentage of these are white instead of red? And so on. What percentage of this row is roses instead of lilies, I think they are, or something like that. And then we've got ratios. What is the ratio of pumpkins to lemons? Melons and so on. What's the ratio of rabbits to chickens? What's the ratio of this chicken's grass to its mud, and so on? So we look at ratios in that one, and that's just a really quick example of how we can do that. But if we head over to something else, and just to show you how flexible Minecraft can be, we can head over to something like history, where we meet a series of people. So this is a history lesson. So we meet Merchant 1, who says, hey, I live in the wonderful city of Venice. The market is constantly abuzz with traders. And here's some of the places we've been. We have 4 ships, Tripoli, Indies, Mexico, and England. And this is what we do. Merchant 2 then says, the news in the market today is that another merchant ship has been lost at sea, and we can look at that sort of era. We can go and talk to government officials and get their stories. I make sure that the products essential to the empire are not exported, including gold, Greek fire, salt, iron, and lumber. But we can also head on to the ship and meet famous people. Deckhands, of course. We have a slave, and we can explore, the difficult subjects like slavery, and by talking to these NPCs, which are just created by you as a teacher. You can create those and have them say what you like to your students, say what you want them to say to their students. But if you go in here, we can also look at the captain's log. And if we go into the captain's log, there's a book and quill here. And I want to raise your attention to the book and quill. This is fantastic. We get the children to create these. So this is the diary of Magellan. Magellan says, September the 20th, 1519, today I set sail with a fleet of 5 ships and over 200 men. We plan to venture to the Spice Islands. And all this time, in order for the children to be able to fill out this book and quill, they're going online and they're going into books and they're researching who was Magellan, where did he come from, what did he do, where did he go, under what king, King Charles I of Spain, who was his sponsor. And the children are doing the history stuff. Let me show you what a book and quill looks like to create. So if we go into book and quill, there we are. That's because I put and there we go. Book and quill. I'm going to take one of those that isn't closed yet, and we're just going to write this up. So we're going to go in there and we're going to say, I am on the good ship and I am sailing. Whoops, get our spelling right, to the islands of Minecraft. There we go. And we can make this whatever we want. It doesn't have to be a journal. It can be a story. It can be a diary. It can be an experience. It can be a memory. And then, but what they can also do is they can take cameras with them. So inside Minecraft Education Edition, we have this awesome tool called the camera. And the camera means that we can take pictures. So let's take a picture of our ship. Let's just imagine this is the day it's due to set sail on a fateful mission. And just by holding the camera in our hand and then right clicking, we can take pictures. And when we head into our book and quill again, I'll just land to do that, and we can right click on this. You'll see that every time I open it, it's still editable. So this isn't the sort of thing that we do necessarily even in just one small lesson. We can do this across whole projects, and books can remain open. You can fill up to 50 pages before you need another book. And if we click here and add a picture, we can add the good ship, and we can call it what do you call your, is it USS? USS Exotic. There we go. Otherwise it's HMS. The USS Exotic, and we can keep the diaries and we can pop those in there. So we get the kids to do that when they're in there. And in doing so, they're looking at clothing, currency, language, food, religion. We have a lot of, I'm from Scotland, so we do a lot of Scottish history projects where the children learn about the Scottish people, the Scottish heritage, the Scottish language, which was lost until the 1960s. If we head over here, we now have science. Somebody's going to have to stop me because I'm on a roll and I love my Minecraft.
I was going to stop you. I was going to say, I wonder if we should spend some time talking about ways that educators can use Minecraft in various remote learning situations.
Absolutely. Well, yeah.
I feel like you made a really good case for how amazing and engaging this could be as a teaching experience across subjects. And I appreciate that you highlighted some of the assessment features that we built in, like the book and quill. And one thing that I would add to that is that you can also export to PDF, or you can even send your learning assessment back through a Teams assignment as well.
Yeah.
So all good
Absolutely.
stuff.
And I think in terms of remote learning, here's the thing about Minecraft, and particularly Minecraft Education Edition with its inbuilt NPCs and books and quills, is that the environment that you're physically sitting in doesn't matter. So if you're sitting at school as part of a class, that's great. If you're in a summer school and you're only there for a couple of weeks and you're with new friends and new colleagues, that's also awesome. But right now everyone's locked at home. There's parents who are sitting at home and they're trying to work remotely themselves, and the kids are on the laptop and they're on Minecraft, or you're preparing food, or you're doing the kind of that working in the house, and you see your kids playing that. And for some of you, as either educators at home with kids, or who are parents, or parents who aren't educators but are still looking and sort of seeing their kids playing Minecraft, it's not just a game. There's a platform right there in front of your children that can be adapted for teaching, and it doesn't have to be solidly just mathematics, or it can be like, what are you interested in? What are you doing? What are you building? Let's see where the mathematics is in there. Let's see what the science is. Let's see, volcanoes. I've got an entire world dedicated to just exploring volcanoes. Kids love volcanoes. You could be doing that at home with your kids. What do you think, Adam? What else can we be doing at home?
When I think about remote learning, I think about a few different ways that remote learning might be happening. So we know already that lots of educators are teaching, are holding multiplayer games using the host world features, which allows an educator to host a world that has up to 30 simultaneous students join using a join code. So that's one way that not only can students learn a lesson together, but it also gives them an extremely valuable opportunity to be social and to be together when they're actually apart.
So absolutely. And hosting, thanks Adam for reminding me about that, because here's the thing, hosting a world means, and I'm just showing on screen how you would do that. You literally choose the world that you want to play. So we're going to take Egypt in this case, and we just click on it and we click host, and it will take us into that world, and we are literally the host, and we can invite 30 children in, up to 30 children in, to then kind of work with us. Multiplayer, and it's phenomenally easy. What the students would do once this is loaded up, and I think it's just taking its time. Yeah, so here we are. So this is us now. We're, whoops, that's Code Builder creeping in there. Let me just close that down. We can also code. It's probably worth mentioning if you're thinking, what else can you do with Minecraft? You can code. You can even get coding by accident. But if we go into something like the Egyptian world, we could have children join us right now, and they could be exploring this world and doing all sorts of things with it. And here's how they do that. We give them, you'll see over there, there's a join code, a balloon and 2 Steve faces. And if I just quit out of this world, stop hosting, and then quit, I'll show you very briefly how simple it is for your kids to join. I won't join one, but I'll show you what the kids would do. They would click on this here and they would say join world, and then they put in balloon and 2 Steve faces, and they click confirm, and then they join your world, provided they're on the same network as you and they're in. So it's really easy and really flexible to work with groups of children, whether that's just, you know, siblings sitting at the same table, or, you know, friend groups, summer school groups, class groups, and so on.
Yeah, and just to be clear, when you say on the same network, they don't, I mean, they can be on the same network, but really what we mean is the same O365 tenant. So the way the feature is designed is so that students who are in the same school system or school can play together, but they can't necessarily use that feature to play with everyone in the universe. So that's one of the features that provides a little more security in the context of the educational environment. So educators don't need to worry about students from connecting with other students elsewhere.
Or anyone for that matter, actually, you know, coming into your world. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Another thing, another way that students can collaborate on creative projects is when they play asynchronously, not at the same time in the same place. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people say to me when we sort of go into this school environments and they say, come on, tell me how I'm supposed to be able to do this with my kids. There's no one answer. You can have children play on their own. You can, and so quite often I've been in schools where we have 30 children on 30 separate devices, not connected to each other, but all doing roughly the same task. And then what they would do is they then say, it's almost like a build challenge. I want you to study a certain castle in Scotland, and I want you to build it as accurately as you can, or a Victorian building or an Iron Age building or something, and build it as accurately as you can. And then the children all go away to their own learning environments, and they can do something real simple like this. You don't need fancy worlds like the one that I showed you. As a beginner, you can click on Create New, and you can either take one of the templates or you can go to New, and then when you get to here, World Type, you just make it flat and then press play. And let's see what happens when we go into this world. This is what I call the canvas world. This is where I always tell teachers to begin. Begin on the canvas world. There's no mountains, there's no trees, there's no water, there's nothing to distract your children, apart from, well, the odd animal. But to get rid of animals, we just go into settings and we just switch. This is easy. We just switch mobs off, allow mobs no, and you'll see all the animals have disappeared. So there's nothing to distract your children. And then you, as the instructor, can say, okay, today we're looking at DNA. I want you to go and find out what DNA looks like, and I want you to take some white wool, and we're going to build DNA. What is it? How do you build a DNA helix in Minecraft? Now, I'm not going to do this, of course, but you might want to think about how that DNA helix twists and makes its way all the way up. And so suddenly the children are doing the maths, they're doing the science, they're doing the STEM, they're looking at the biology of DNA, whether it's, you know, human or plant DNA and so on, and they can have a little look at that, and there's nothing to distract them. So, and they don't have to be doing that together. They can be doing that in one piece. The other thing I like to do, Adam, is I like to get students to finish other students' work. It's almost like that activity we used to do years ago where you would write a line of a story and then fold the paper, and then the next student would write the next line and fold the paper, and when you unfolded it at the end you had this funny disjointed story. Well, that's what I like to do with the kids. Start something and then have the other kids add to it and add to it and add to it and see how that grows organically. It's a fantastic project.
And that's a great example. I was in a classroom in Virginia earlier last year, and the students were working on a biomes project. So there are different regions of the state of Virginia, and each student had a different element of a region. So, for example, there was a student working on the port, and then there was a different student working on the mountains, and a different student working on an urban area, and they weren't all working in the same world at the same time. So what they would do is they would do their work, and then they would use the export feature to export their world. And then the next student, they would share that either through email or through through OneDrive or whatever, and then they would the next student would open that up and begin work on it, save it, and send it along. So it allowed them to work and collaborate, but not necessarily at the same time. And what it did is it reduced some of the networking trickiness that can come up, especially in a remote learning environment where not all the kids have the most reliable network connections, or for one reason or another, they might have trouble connecting to each other in real time.
Absolutely. And that's fantastic. For earlier on, we were saying you need to be on the same tenant to join. So that means that a school in Scotland can't necessarily join and work with students in Poland, not online at least, but you can do it that way. You can export your world. And here's the great thing is that if anybody who's watching this who was familiar with Java Minecraft, when you exported a world, it was dozens of folders, thousands of files, and it was quite difficult to put together. Completely different working system. Microsoft, with Minecraft Education Edition, have brought it to a point where when you click that export button, you get a single file, just like a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation. You get one single file, and you then stick that file on a OneDrive, or you stick that file on a memory stick, or you email it to someone, and they just pick it up at the other side. They double click the file, and just like a Word document, it opens up the appropriate software, which in this case is Minecraft. So it's really easy for children to move between that sort of asynchronous work stream. It's also probably worth saying, if I just duck in here, Adam, what do you think? That as well as, I keep clicking play and going into view my worlds or, create a new one. But over here we have the Minecraft Education Edition library, which is growing all the time. It's growing every day. And if you click on that library, you'll see that there's categories. So there's lessons that you can tap into. And if we just click on those, you can see we've got some computer science lessons. We've got maths lessons ready for you, science, art, design, history, culture, and language arts. And these are just, let's click on science, for example. There's chemistry, there's biology, there's conservation, there's extinction, biodiversity crisis, and so on. So it's all built in there for you. If we head back to here, we've also got our monthly build challenges. So if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, where would I start with this? I know my kids play Minecraft. I want to do more with this while we're stuck at home during, this awful crisis. Click on the monthly build challenges, and every month there's another challenge. Agent to the rescue, coding Coral, building architecture, area and volume challenge, and these are released every month, but you can go back and do them yourself. So these are fantastic.
Anything to add the other thing I would just add to this, these build challenges are unlike the lessons, which are sort of designed around learning outcomes, and often the vast majority of the lessons that we offer are standards aligned, and they're sort of designed for a teacher who is looking to deliver a specific piece of content. The build challenges are much more open-ended. They're more like learning prompts. So take a book that you've read recently and design, use Minecraft to recreate the setting of that book, or imagine what your bedroom would look like if you could totally redesign it and create your fantasy bedroom. So they're really fun, open-ended, creative activities that will often engage students that might not otherwise want to engage if it was write a paragraph or complete the puzzle. This reaches kids in a different way, a new way, and we get great feedback from educators and parents alike about these build challenges.
Absolutely, and it's easy. Here's the thing: once you click on that, you click on Build a Better Bedroom, you just click Create World, and there we go. That's it. One click, and you're in that world. You can then begin to host the worlds once you're in there. Say, right, okay, I've downloaded it. Here's my architect. Here's the build challenge. Now I'm going to press Escape. And I'm going to go to this button and I'm going to start hosting for my children. And then we're going to get the children in, and we can do that. Or just download it on a single device and have the children do it themselves. And here's the challenge. So one click and you have access to all that content. Let's go back and have a quick look at what else was in there. View library, and then we've got biomes. Now I love this, Adam. I love this, and I'll tell you why. It's because as a builder, as somebody who's constantly building worlds, the first thing I consider when I consider building an education world is the environment. What environment do I need to build in? There's no point in going and trying to teach children about, if we click on biomes, there's no point in trying to teach children about tropical fish and the plight of the coral reefs, if you end up with a desert world or a forest biome, what you want to go looking for is the right environment. Savanna, we're doing something on African conservation. Let's start with a savanna biome. We're doing something with corals. Let's start with a warm ocean biome. What if we're doing something with flood risk management? We might want to start with swampland, and so on. And so we can go in there and we can choose our environment early. So again, as a teacher, and this is all about making it easy for the teacher who's thinking, you know what, I really want to do something on biomes, and in particular desert biomes, desert wildlife, we're doing desert weather. What do I do? And I just say to the teachers, go into Minecraft Education Edition, choose a desert biome, click Create World, and you're in. You can then, from then on, the lesson's yours. You decide what you want to do around that. And you're all lesson planning anyway. You're all kind of, so take some time, look at the world, familiarize yourself with the environment, and then say, right, I know what we're going to do. We're going to look at oases, you know, the phenomenon of an oasis. There's one there. Perfect. Let's have a look at and see what we can do with that, and so on. And so building lessons through these preset environments is fantastic.
So Stephen, I feel like we're probably getting close to the end of our time. I want to make sure we take a few minutes to cover some of the resources that are available.
Yes,
would you
indeed.
mind toggling over to the aka.ms/
/Minecraft at home.
That's right. That's exactly.
Yeah. So do visit that. There you go. Do visit that. So education.minecraft.net. We'll put it in the chat. /distance-learning, or actually in this case, just do aka.ms/Minecraft at home. Adam, do you want to talk through this, and I'll do the scrolling for you?
Sure. So what you'll find on this page is a set of resources that are designed for educators and for parents to help them understand. So slow down a little bit.
Sorry, I was trying to find the parents part. There we go.
Okay, here we go. So the first thing at the top is our remote learning guide. This is a curated set of lessons that work especially well in the context of remote learning. Then if you keep scrolling down a little bit.
I'm going to try and do that smoother than last time. There we go. That's
right.
a bit.
Okay. Here you'll see we have a recent set of guidelines for holding a digital event in Minecraft. So to Mike's point earlier about all of the schools, this weekend I attended the Berkeley University, Cal State Berkeley University held their graduation in a Minecraft world. It was spectacular. Then this next set of teaching resources that we're looking at, you'll notice there's a multiplayer game guide. So this is technical information if you want to try and gather your students together in a real-time or asynchronous multiplayer game. That's a fantastic resource to download. Then there's also a first lesson kit as well.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Let's see.
That's that one there.
Yep.
Do you want me to go down further? Yep.
Yep. So then if you get to the parent, there were also, we offer a build challenge kit. So if you want to offer some sort of competitive experience to engage your students in building something, there's a Minecraft challenge kit that has all kinds of guidance for how to set that up. And then scrolling down a little bit further, we've created a family learning guide that helps explain what is Minecraft to parents who might not understand why it's being used in the classroom or what it's for or how it benefits their kids. So it addresses that. It also has activities that parents can play, whether they have access to Minecraft Education Edition or the consumer version. We offer challenges that work across both. Yep. And then also, as it relates to the consumer version of Minecraft, there's a new education category in the Bedrock Marketplace. So for students who just have regular Minecraft and want to play at home on their Xbox or on their iPhone or any other device, there's now over a dozen free educational worlds where students can explore the human eyeball, they can explore the International Space Station, they can do some light coding type exercises or logic puzzles, all in the regular version of Minecraft.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I would point out is the hour of code with Minecraft. So we didn't talk a lot about coding in Minecraft, but this is a big emphasis for us. We have over 100 hours of coding curriculum on our website. And it all starts with this hour of code lesson, which is a block-based coding exercise where students learn a little bit about using artificial intelligence to prevent the spread of wildfires.
I'm just going to show how easily that is to pull up. When people are thinking, how on earth do you code in Minecraft? We kind of looked at it briefly earlier, but if I press the C key while in Minecraft, it opens up Code Builder. And so what Adam's saying is there's a whole group of lessons, fantastic hours and hours and hours of lessons that allow you to open up Code Builder and just run with computer studies in both JavaScript, block-based coding. Here are some of the examples.
And now also, Python.
And Python as well, yeah. So if we click on new project.
So right now what we're looking at, these are tutorials that are meant to be student self-directed tutorials. So the educator doesn't even need to know the first thing about coding to engage students who are interested in these activities. But one last thing I wanted to say about that hour of code lesson is that is a 100% free trial that anybody can download, anybody can use, and get a taste of what it's like to code in Minecraft. You don't even have to log in using that hour of code lesson. So that's also an important benefit and an easy activity for anybody who's at home or wanting kids to do something at home to learn coding. That's a fantastic way to get started.
So I'm just going to say on chat command loopy, spawn a chicken at my location 50 times. And then we're just going to go in and we're going to press play. And then I'm just going to type. Let me just go down and do this. Loopy. And when we press go, you'll see 50 chickens appear. And that was all done just using code. So suddenly we have 50 chickens. Kids love this stuff. But of course, for spawning 50 chickens isn't, you're probably thinking, well, that's great, but why would you do that? You're right. But think about it. This is the start. And if we just jump into JavaScript up here, if it'll let me do that, I think because I'm recording and doing Minecraft and so on, it's taken its time. But yeah, we can go in. This is the start. This is where kids can say, well, I tell you what if I changed chicken to cow? And what if instead of loopy, I'm just going to call that cow as well. And then this time when they go back to the game, they can type loopy and they'll see that it doesn't work. But if they type cow, they'll get 50 cows. And that's because they changed it. Whoops. And that's because they reverse engineered it. And that's the ticket to getting children to go, oh, I did some coding. I changed that. What else can I do? Before you know it, they're coding earthquake simulations and their flood risk management, and they're coding solutions to a hole in the International Space Station, and so on and so on and so on. So the coding is fantastic. Throw yourself at that.
Well, that's fantastic, Stephen. Thank you so much for that amazing demo and for sharing your enthusiasm for Minecraft Education Edition. The website once again is aka.ms/minecraftathome. So if that's where all of our remote learning resources are. And Mike, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be here today.
Yeah, well, thank you for both joining. That was great. I love the last little part at the end, Stephen. My daughter actually attended the code.org and Minecraft. I guess it was a live cast a couple of weeks ago, so that was pretty cool to see too. So awesome. Yeah, I've got a fan in my home too.
Yay! I've actually just put in the aka.ms Minecraft at home in the chat. I know it was also put up earlier as well. Oh, I didn't put the HTTP in. Sorry, Adam did.
I've got the screen.
Awesome. Okay, and then so you do. You've got it up there. And then we've also. I think there's some Q&A going on, and so I'm going to stick around and see if I can just sort of type into that Q&A. If anybody's got any questions for us, I'm going to be here for a while. I don't know about you, Adam. Get those questions in there, and we'll see how many of them we can answer.
Great, thank you, Stephen. And so we'll just wrap up just in the last couple minutes here. The link that we talked about, the Minecraft at Home link, is right there at the top link on this, and the middle link is the brand new accessibility and special education and how you can support equity in a remote learning environment. That's a brand new course that just came out. And then the last one is virtual graduations, which is for online graduations. Microsoft has a set of programs and how you can run virtual graduations through Teams live events and the Microsoft stores. This PowerPoint, which mainly just has the links, there's not a lot of Minecraft slides, but the more important part, the full video and webinar we'll be posting on our remote learning playlist probably tomorrow morning, and then you can watch it, share it, and spread the good word of Minecraft and all the cool stuff you can do. And then there's our support link at the bottom. So if you're an educator that needs support and help, we have a site dedicated for you, and feel free to log your issues there. And then a couple other webinars coming up. On Tuesday, we've got music education and distance learning. And on June 8th, woo, Michael Fullen. I'm very excited to have Michael Fullen on this program. He's going to be joining us to talk about what he calls hybrid learning. So that's Monday, June 8th. And the full webinar schedule is below to get all the latest and greatest. And a big thanks to Maryline, who helps run everything behind the scenes as our producer. And we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.